Welcome to Into the Mind of a Madman with your host, me, the Madman. As kids, we learn a lot. We learn how to read, how to write, how to walk, how to talk, how to have some type of responsibility about ourselves, right? And we grow up and we become adults and apply a lot of the knowledge we've learned, experiences we've been through to our everyday life, right? But something along the way, we haven't gotten a grasp of actually learning to deal with, learning the proper way to handle it, I guess, mentally. And that is being wrong. As kids, we learn right from wrong. We learn good from bad. We learn a lot of these things, right? And oftentimes when we are wrong about something, we get on punishment. We throw temper tantrums, and for some of us, we got beatings. Some of us, we got lectures, timeouts, all of these different things. Our parents raised us the best they know how, and with it, for the most part, they want to teach us the right way to go about it, right? So when we're doing bad or we're doing wrong, I would say, in this particular subject, when we're doing wrong, we're taught the right way to do it. We're taught an alternative way to go about doing it. Even though if basically, I would say like technically we're right, and we're feelings, but for the most part, we may be right, but the way we chose to go about it may have been wrong, is what I want to say. But we never are taught to, if you're wrong, to how to handle being wrong. You know what I'm saying? We're taught how to correct it, but we're not taught how to handle being wrong. So as kids, we grow up to be these adults who's never learned how to be wrong. And the idea of being wrong to a lot of people is not cool, because we live in this entitled America where basically we're given the out of saying, well, you just don't understand what I've been through. You don't understand how certain things come across to me through the experiences I had, so I may handle it a different way to you. So to you, I'm wrong, but to me, I'm right, right? And that's a clash. It's a clash here in America. There's no definitive wrong. And there's no definitive, you were wrong. You have to sit in being wrong. And you have to handle being wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here to help you as the adult you are, the person with the mental capacity that you are, whoever's watching this. I'm here to help you learn how to be wrong and be cool with being wrong, and not, you could just sit in your wrongness and be happy, I would say. All right. I want to first start off by saying you are right. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you. I agree that a lot of us have personal experiences that we either gone through ourselves, we seen somebody personally go through them, and we don't want to go through them, so we built a wall to defend other to defend ourselves from being like a older sister, older brother, older cousin, or mother or father, whatever it is, or friend. We've built defenses to keep us from going through what we seen somebody else go through. We've built defenses that we've heard of other people going through, right? So within that and your experiences of what you've been through life, the way you interpret things, the way you project things onto others, you are always going to be right. I want to stand with you in that. But there are only two rights. I agree that there's always two sides to a story or three sides to a story, however many people is involved. I understand there's always two sides to a story. But there's only one right, and there's only two rights in the world. There's only two ways of being right for anybody in the world. The first way of being white, what? The first step, the first way of being right is personal to you. And meaning, if something happens personally to you, you are right to react any way you personally feel. You get what I'm saying? So, situation, you're in a situation, somebody says something to you, somebody does something to you, somebody talks about you, and you are personally there right in their face. You are there in the action. However you handle it is right. Now, could there be another way of handling it? Yes. And once you step out of that and you have a chance to reflect, if you decide there was a whole different way of me handling that, then accept that you handled it wrong and go apologize, go do whatever you got to do to make it right. But no, for next time, I don't want to handle that way anymore. I wouldn't want to handle that situation that way anymore. So I was wrong. So I'll do better for next time, right? So that's the first way of being right. The second way of being right, and only other way to be right, is when it's non-personal, it's indirect. When something is happening about you, not directly to you, but somebody comes to you and go, yo, such and such did this on your behalf, and I know you wouldn't like that. Such and such said this about you, I know you ain't gonna like that. And all of these things happen about you, not to you, right? Now your job is not to go off on the other person that they told you about. You are totally wrong. The only way to be right is to now go to the other person or whatever parties are involved and collect all information and then react as you gathered all the information. If you do not take the time to gather all information, you are wrong in however way you feeling. Because to allow one party to fill your head with information and you go off on a whole nother party and not gathering all the information, I don't care if it's a totally reliable source. You are wrong, point blank. To order to be right, you have to gather all the information and then handle it accordingly. If that takes talking to 5 to 10 people who was around at the time, or that takes whatever you need to do, you have to take the time to gather all information if you want to be right. And now when you move forward, however you handle it after gathering all information, if you find out you handled that wrong after that or whatever, that's on you. And like I said, you resort back, you reflect, and now you make it right. If you do not handle those two situations, and that covers everything in life, you are completely wrong from the go. I just want you to know that. You have to learn how to be wrong. Even if you have to apologize, even if whatever the situation is, just be wrong. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's cool to be wrong. It's cool to feel a way about something happening in the moment where you react to it, and in your mind, through your experiences, I need to act this way to combat what's ever happening to me. You can be right and handle it wrong and still be cool to handle it wrong. That's the problem to me. Like, when we are wrong, we don't want to be wrong. We always want to be right. It's like, no, be happy that you handled that wrong. I wanted to punch you in the face because you said something disrespectful to me or to somebody within my group at this particular time while I was standing there. I took it away, so I punched you in the face. Could we have talked it out? Yes, but I wanted to punch you in the face at the time. I'm cool with handling that the wrong way. Be cool in that. You don't need justification to be like, nah, they were so disrespectful. If they would have did this, then I wouldn't have. Nah, just be cool with being wrong. It's cool. You could be wrong. I have no issue with you being wrong. You shouldn't have an issue with being wrong. But what I tend to find out is everybody just wants to be right. And everybody just wants to have everybody on their side and goes, listen to the situation. This happened, and this is why I handle it that way. So you can have some sort of everybody on your side, and yeah, you should have did that. You should have handled it that. Nah, you know you shouldn't have handled it that way, and it's cool. Just be wrong. Just like, listen, I handled it wrong, but that's how I felt I needed to get it done. It's cool. Listen, I'm not going to keep repeating it to beat it in your head, right? I'm not here for that. But I'm here to express my thoughts, and I hope you can take it in and receive them well. We reached a point in life where we are an adult, or we are of age, where our mind capacity is more than a single entity of how to handle things, right? We've been through these experiences and we know the outcomes for the most part. We've seen people go through it. We're not at a point where we have to make decisions. And sometimes those decisions may not be on the side of right. And since nobody ever told us it was cool to be wrong, we always trying to look for that validation from whoever we can to be right. If out of a survey of 100 people, 40 people gonna say you're right, 40 people gonna say you're wrong, and the other 20 gonna be undecided. We all know this. But I'm trying to tell you that out of 100 people, you're the only one that counts. And for you to recognize that you may have handled something wrong is the biggest part of the issue, of the problem. We have to stop trying to justify our wrongs, even though you may have the greatest reason to handle it wrong. We have to stop trying to find validation of why it was right. Let's teach our kids it's cool to be wrong. It's like we teach our kids, if somebody hits you, you hit them back. We understand as adults, when a kid hears that, we know it may not go as far as somebody dying, somebody going to jail, somebody greatly getting hurt. As kids, somebody hit you, you hit them, teacher come break it up. It's cool, y'all get on timeout. Hey, I'm proud of you, you stood up for yourself. That's the right mentality, right? So when they start hitting people because somebody hit them first, you cool with that. But let's say we start telling the kids, listen, if somebody hits you, you hit them back, you stand up for yourself, but no, you're gonna get in trouble, just by the teacher, not by me or whatever. Just know you're still gonna be wrong in it, but be cool with it because you stood up for yourself. It's like, let's start giving that lesson out versus, no, you're just right because they hit you, it was self-defense, so you cool now. Now, let's start teaching our kids that you are wrong to handle it this way. Let's start teaching them you should handle it this way. But if you feel the need that is the only move that you have at the particular moment, then be wrong and defend yourself, but know you're wrong and be cool with it because now you live to fight another day. And like I said, let's teach our kids that you can't allow somebody or one party to come tell you something and then you go across the room and fly off at the handle. And somebody didn't probably even say that, or they probably even meant it like that, or you don't know what the context of it or whatever. So take the time to get all sides of the party and then move how you move. And I'll stand behind that because I know you took the time to not try to squash it. Like, I don't want to make our kids soft because they're already soft. But they have to learn how the only way to be right is to have all the information. And once you have all the information, let the chips fall where they fall. You get what I'm saying? But listen, man, I've been thinking about this for a little while because I heard a conversation and it just hit me like, yo, even as an adult, we we don't handle being wrong. We hate to be told that we're wrong. And we shouldn't hate that we're wrong. We should be cool with being wrong. Listen, I know I handled that wrong. Next time, or I can grow from this, or I learned a lesson. But I'm cool with being wrong in that situation. I'm cool with knocking this person upside the head in that situation. I do it 100 times out of 100 times. I'm cool with being wrong. I know I handled it wrong, and it's cool. It doesn't. You don't need validation for being wrong so you can feel right. That's crazy to me. And to hear an adult pretty much try to beat it in the head that, yeah, the situation, I understand we was where we was at and we shouldn't be doing that at that particular venue and place and time, but this happened and I don't feel like, I'm always like, look, just be wrong, just be cool, and listen, I'm gonna get at these people any and every time, wherever it's at, and I just be wrong, and I'll be cool with it. And however the chips fall, they fall, and we. But listen, man, we've never learned how to be wrong. We, as kids, when somebody's wrong, they throw a tantrum. Like I said, they throw a tantrum. They start falling on the floor. We beat them. We send them in timeout. And the only thing we teach them is how to be right. But as adults, we have to teach our kids how to handle being wrong. How to be cool with being wrong. How there's a lesson to be learned when you understand for yourself that you are wrong. You get what I'm saying? You understand you handled it wrong, you went about it wrong, you interpreted it wrong, and next time try to add these factors so you can, like, it's an experience, you know what I'm saying? It's an experience. But until you gain that experience, you are right in how you reacted because that's all you know. You're ignorant to the fact that there is another way. There is another option you could have taken. So this is one for the adults. And it's 2020. We have to start being smarter. We have to start being wiser. And we have to start raising our kids to not be perfect is what I want to say. We in a weird way, it just hit me. In a weird way, we're trying to raise perfect people and at the same time telling them that they can't be perfect. It's like we will, like, through religion, we'll tell them there's only one perfect person, God, Jesus, whatever. We'll tell them there's only one perfect person, whoever walked this earth, Jesus. And everybody's gonna sin and make mistakes, which is cool. But then they get in trouble. As kids, we get in trouble for every mistake we made. We have to sit through a lecture for every mistake we made, and we have to be put in these mindsets of, yo, you have to always act appropriate. You get what I'm saying? We gotta stop that. As kids, we're not perfect. As an adults, we're not perfect. And we're only as smart as our experiences, our teachings. And sometimes we have to be validated within our wrong. And we have to know that sometimes when being wrong, you could be happy with that. You could be happy with being wrong because there's a lesson in it. You could be happy with being wrong because you defended yourself. You defended somebody else. You defended what it was, the obstacle that was you had to face. It's alright to be wrong. It's alright to be wrong. It's too many sayings of, well, I'm right, you're wrong, or it's too many. Everything is made to be right and on the good side, the right side of the law. Sometimes you got to be on the wrong side of the law to make something right that's not on the side of the law. You get what I'm saying? Like sometimes you gotta break into you gotta play Robin Hood, I guess. I mean it's Robin Hood. You gotta rob the rich to give to the poor because the poor is starving and dying. And you gotta be cool. You gotta be cool with being Robin Hood. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just want y'all to understand, man. I hate to keep, but that's what these shows are for, you know? These shows is to go in for about 30 minutes on one particular subject so it can actually resonate to you. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool. I just want you to know, in closing, I just want you to know it's alright to be wrong. You know, it's okay. You deserve to be wrong in life. And why you deserve to be wrong in life is because you deserve the experience. If you're always right, you don't know what's wrong. If somebody's always telling you not to do that or that's not good or whatever, and you only can handle it this way, you never learn that it's okay to be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because they're telling you it's not okay to be wrong. You need to always be right. You need to always handle it the right way. You need to no, sometimes you gotta handle shit. Sometimes you gotta handle things wrong to learn to handle it right. So with that being said, I want y'all to have a good day. Take this and run with it. Like I said, teach your kids, teach your loved ones, show this to your mom and dad and say, look, mom and dad, I think you raised me wrong. I think you ain't give me this lesson. You should have told me it was okay for me to be wrong. And maybe I'd have been a little better off instead of trying to handle everything appropriate sometimes, all the time. But I'll holla at y'all. Thank y'all for riding with me. This is the Mind of a Madman.